You're listening to the British Baseball Podcast. Hello, baseball family. Matthew here again with another special episode of the British Baseball Podcast. I'm here to probably my most ambitious episode today, as I am surrounded by Great Britain baseball studs galore. I have, in any particular order from the side, I have Justin Wylie, I have Alex Crosby, I've got Donovan Benoit, Nick Ward, and Mckenzie Mills. Gentlemen, how are we all?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Doing good.
Glad to be here.
Great.
Yeah, doing really well.
Excellent. Well, I'm really excited to get this on the go. So, gents, I'm so grateful that you've decided to spend what free time you've got here. I know preparation for the big event is fastly approaching. We're recording this towards the end of February, with the actual World Baseball Classic being in March. But before I hit on the big one, could you talk us through some of your memories on the qualifiers? I know it's been a little while ago now, and a lot of times settled, but I couldn't not get the opinions of the five of you.
I could probably summarize that. Most memorable moment for me had to be that game versus Spain. I mean, like I said, while Vance, he was struggling a little bit in the beginning of the innings, gave up a couple runs, but I think the biggest thing, we were just relentless. I mean, game tying home run, some key base running to score that winning run, sac fly by Crosby. I mean, I think that whole moment just showed that, hey, we could be down. I forget the amount of runs we were down. What was it, like 4 or 5 runs, maybe even 6? And, I mean, each and every inning we scrapped and, was able to get the job done to win the ball game. So that, I think, and like I said, I think the one thing that's different than all the other teams in the World Baseball Classic is that, we're going to come back and be, have a good bond with each other, because that same excitement that we had back in Germany, we're going to bring that to Arizona. So I think people are going to be surprised about what we're going to be able to do, as a group, and just go out there and have fun, enjoy the experience, and let's just play ball.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest takeaway for me is learning how to play in the cold. It was 40 degrees over there. That was probably the coldest games we all have played in a while. But obviously, I mean, the obvious moment is the Crosby walking it off for us. Like, we came in, we played 3 games, the minimum amount of games. We took care of business, and to cap it off the way we did, with everyone contributing in that last game against Spain, really showed, like Mckenzie was saying, we were down, but nothing in our dugout really showed that we were going to lose that game. We created momentum, and we just kept it riding until that walk-off, and was able to qualify.
Yeah, I mean, I could piggyback off that. It was a great experience, I know, for all of us, and including all UK. It's exciting to see that, we finally made it. We did it. We're not done. Got to continue to build off that. And kind of what they're saying, too, with, like, the whole connection that we've, core of us, we've been together, we've played. So that's definitely going to play into factor into the WBC. I think that's huge, because a lot of these other guys haven't been playing with each other. So we're going to have that bond, that connection. And it's good, we had that comeback win, right? So we know that we're never out. And also, yeah, Wiley hit it. I've never played in anything that cold. I know y'all used to it in the UK. Not used to it. It's not used to it over here. I mean, I could vividly remember most of my at-bats. Ward and Wiley could probably say I couldn't even feel my hands, like, going up to the plate. We didn't have any hand warmers, so I mean, that was a difficult situation to be a hitter in, for sure. Advantage to all the pitchers.
Yeah, it looked a bit miserable on the day. My favorite image of that, I know, got Anthony planting the flag, but he's got a hoodie on underneath his uniform, and it just goes to show how cold it was. Nick, have you got anything you want to add in there for your favorite memories from the qualifiers?
Like Ross said, like, obviously we remember it being freezing cold, but that's nothing new for a Pennsylvania kid like myself growing up there. So I was relatively used to something like that, with my hands being cold, but obviously the rain didn't help. But playing in games of that magnitude was something I'd never experienced before, and having the sense of pride of wearing a country across your chest, especially where your family was from, was something pretty special. I'll never forget that.
Where's the whole experience rank then for you all in terms of your baseballling journey so far?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think there's obviously a bigger sense of pride that those games carried with it. So that was pretty special.
Yeah, I remember in one of the team meetings, we kind of talked about what GB means to each individual player, and the fact that we all were together for the qualifiers, and we shared that it's a lot bigger than just our individual stats. You know, we played those 3 games for the guys next to us. We played those 3 games for a country. We play those 3 games for our families, you know. So there's a whole lot more than just, oh, I got to get a hit this game, or I got to get a K against this batter. You know, it means a lot, and it brings out a different competitive spirit in each one of us.
For sure. I can 100% agree with that. I think like in that extra inning game, or when Cross hit the walk-off against Spain, it was, earlier in that inning, I popped the bunt up, and obviously I was a little bit upset that I didn't succeed. But then, like, guys moving on down the lineup, I had no doubt that the guys coming up after me were going to get the job done. And like, yeah, I cared that I didn't get the job done, but in the same breath, it didn't matter. It was up to the next guy, and like just rooting on the next guy. Like, your personal success didn't matter. It was all about if we won or lost, and that playing like that is freeing, and it's special to be able to play that type of baseball.
Game 7, every game that you step onto the field, when you have that UK on your chest. So yeah, that selflessness baseball is, I mean, there's nothing like it. I mean, you know, it's additional pressure, but it's not really at the same time, because right, we're having fun, we're competing, we're giving it all we got. Like you said, it doesn't matter, you know, out, strike out, you didn't do your job, you believed in everybody else around you, and the goal was to win. We did that. Now we're on to the next goal, and really we just want to shock the world, you know. Let's be that Cinderella team that no one expects to get there. So, you know, I'm hoping that's our story, and I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Brilliant.
I do kind of piggyback off of what Crosby was saying with that underdog mentality. I think that really sucked with us after beating Germany. You know, going into that game, it was like, oh, Germany has so many ex-big leaguers. Germany's the host. Germany is the juggernaut. You know, it didn't really click for me for like, oh man, it's such a big event. We have a lot of UK fans, but I think after we beat Germany, it was like, man, like we actually have a really good shot to win this. And then a lot of UK fans started to, you know, buy in even more. And I think for me, that was one of the biggest turning points in that regional, or that qualifier as well, is like, man, we beat the host Germany, who was supposed to win it. But next thing you know, it's Great Britain who wins it. And you know, I think that was for me one of the coolest memories for me from that tournament.
I just wanted to ask Mckenzie and Donovan. I mean, obviously, Wardy and Cros and we're in the game playing. You guys have a specific time, like Mckenzie threw game 1. Donovan, I believe you threw against Spain, right?
Yeah, I threw against Germany and Spain, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like after that, you guys are just on the sidelines. Like, what are these guys gonna do? So, like, what's your
I
guys'
was the best cheerleader, dude. I was trying to be the best leader possible, dude. Like I said, I think the biggest thing with the WBC, the one thing, like I guess as a pitcher, especially as a starter, is that that pitch count. It forces you to be in the zone. You know what I mean? Like, because at the end of the day, I want to get you guys in the dugout so you guys can swing the bat. I don't want to prolong the inning, but I mean, nah, bro, yeah, like even this time coming around, I think it's the same thing. Like I said, bro, if I pitch 2-3 innings like I did versus France, or you know, if Zach or you know Drew take off the leash, I mean, yeah, bro, I'm gonna be the best cheerleader for the whole time we're there. So it's I want you guys to succeed. You guys take Kershaw deep or take any big leaguer deep, I'm going crazy. So, why not?
But yeah, like in that Spain game, I was lucky enough to throw the 8th and 9th inning, you know, to kind of hold that lead for us while you guys came back and chipped away for the runs. And then eventually in the 10th inning, we, you know, walked it off, as everybody knows. But, you know, for me, kind of what you guys were saying, it was so cold, and just kind of like just sitting down in the dugout the entire time waiting, like just hoping you can go in and, you know, just hold it for you guys so you guys can score. But then as soon as that 10th inning came around, I was just like Mckenzie, man. I was just the biggest cheerleader, and it was awesome. That's just, you have to be, you know, just so bought in with everybody.
That's awesome. Alex, what was going through your mind in that at bat? Like, can you talk us through the events? Because I don't have any fingernails left. It's not gone back since.
Yeah, I mean, situational baseball. There's someone on third. There's less than 2 outs. I knew I just needed to get an elevated pitch. And I mean, I had got my first 2 were a little bit high, but I was looking for that pitch. I missed him. For my sake, luckily, he threw, I think he went 4, the same pitches, 2 elevated, the third one even higher. And then, I'm still sitting on something high to just get in the air. I've been in that situation a lot of my career. I mean, I think like professionally, I don't know how many bats I've had, but I've been in a lot of situations where it's came down to the end where you have to get the job done. And for me, it's just staying calm, cool, collected, and just living in that moment and having fun with it. I don't put any extra pressure on myself because I've failed plenty of times. I've succeeded plenty of times. And at the end of the day, you just got to believe in yourself and your abilities and what you practice. And you know what? You got to be who you say you are at the end of the day. So I'm always going to believe in myself, and just to be in that situation, good time, a little bit of luck, and just having fun with it.
What are some of your favorite off-field memories from the tournament?
Go ahead, Cross. Go ahead.
I mean, I got a couple. I mean, first off, that the meeting we had, kind of what Wylie was saying earlier, where everyone got to talk about their relation with Great Britain baseball. I think that was a very good moment for everybody. It went from like funny to emotional to tears to every single emotion you could think of. And it was good to see that around the room and build that camaraderie. So I absolutely loved that moment. Also, I think, personally speaking, after we won the first 2, we had a day off. So a couple of the guys, including Wylie, Ward, and Mckenzie, we went to Oktoberfest. And man, that was a great experience. At the time, I was like, I don't want to do it because I want to be fully focused and, I want to just be on my best game. But I knew also at the same time is like, you got to live your life. You got to have fun. It's something I'm not ever going to experience again. And I mean, man, that was a good time. I've never been a part of anything like that as well. I would definitely advise anyone who's in Germany, if they could ever experience it, don't miss out.
Yeah, I would have to say, I have two occasions. First is the first team dinner that we had as a group. We all collectively went to this restaurant. We're able to create a bond in its own, and the coaching staff did a great job of getting us all together to create that bond heading into the tournament. And then, just like Crosby was saying, Oktoberfest. I mean, I've never even thought of going to Germany, and the fact that we were able to play baseball, something that we love, and then it wasn't just one day off; we had 2 days off. So we were able to like collect ourselves, practice, still get our work in and everything, but also like the journey that we went through to like get on the train, going into Munich, seeing the architecture, seeing the people dressed up in their I don't want to say costumes because it doesn't. Yeah, the outfit for it, and then to like be there for a world renowned event was something that I'll always remember.
Yeah, mine was a little bit more family related. Being in Germany and playing that tournament was the first time I got to see my grandfather and uncle since like the beginning of COVID. And I thought it was just super special because they born and raised Scotland, they're full Scottish. And for them to kind of like come and see me with the UK flag and representing Great Britain, I thought it was like just an awesome experience for me and my family who got to come over and see that happen.
That's fantastic. Oh, well, off-field antics, I suppose you've got the native to Arizona, Justin, right there. How excited are you, Justin, to show the rest of your teammates around your hometown, or is it just going to be purely baseball focused?
Oh, yeah. I mean, where we're staying is a beautiful resort. So the restaurants here, they're going to love the weather from wherever they're coming from. But for the most part, I'm going to take some of the guys to the facility that I train at, and we're going to get some good work in. And I mean, this is a business trip, right? So the guys, we're going to come in, we're going to enjoy the weather. We're going to enjoy the nice restaurants that are out here. We're going to eat good, but at the same time, we're here to win games,
Pretty excited for it to be in Arizona, obviously for myself, Wylie as well, just because we're from this side of the States. To just having family, friends, I mean, shoot, coworkers, anybody really with the support. I mean, I've had a lot of people reach out, like definitely coming out to come watch. And I'm excited to not only experience it myself, but for all my friends, family, anyone to experience it as well, just because it's, it's bigger than myself, bigger than all of us. We're representing Great Britain, and what it means to me, honestly, is like everything. Like this is my third experience with the team. Every time I do it, I mean, it's always a better and better experience. And I'm just like honored and blessed to like put it on, and very fortunate, to represent something to this magnitude. And like Wylie said, like it's a business trip at the end of the day. I'll have my friends, family there, but I'm fully focused, just going straight in like, what can I do to help the team win? If that's playing, if that's coming off the bench, if that's whatever role it happens to be, I'm ready for it. And excited just to get the opportunity to play against some of these big names and show what I have as well. It's also a showcase for myself and guys like Wylie, to where it's going to be a lot of exposure coming out of independent baseball. So like I said, just looking forward to the opportunity, the challenge, and showing what I got.
I can go back to mid-October when right after we qualified, we were all expecting to either be in Taiwan or Japan. And then one morning, our group message starts popping off saying we're going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. And the first thing I was like, I got to tell my parents, like, they don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to watch a game when we're in Japan. They can actually just drive 20 minutes to the yard and see me play live, So just like Cross said, I have a lot of family, friends, ex-coaches from summer ball or college. They're all going to fly in from all over the country for this event because, for one, it's during spring training. We're going to be playing some spring training teams. So people love traveling to Arizona specifically for that reason. And then just so happening to be the same year for the World Baseball Classic, and they get to see me and support Great Britain. We have a lot of GB fans that didn't know that they were going to be rooting for GB this upcoming tournament.
Yeah, you mentioned before that one of the kids you've been teaching has got tickets as well. Like, how excited was he when he found out you were going to be taking part and playing against some of the teams you're going to be facing?
It's actually, it's funny because I don't think he understands the magnitude of like this tournament. His parents definitely do. His parents were like, oh my gosh, like we're getting tickets as soon as they're available, which they did. And then the kid's like, so wait, who are you playing? I was like, oh, Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Clayton Kershaw. He's like, oh, that's cool. And I'm like, dude, those are Hall of Famers. Like, a little light in your face, but no, every one of the kids that training right now, they really appreciate it, and half of them are going to be coming out to games, one of the 4 games, if not more games that we're going to be playing.
What do you think then of the squad that Drew and the staff have assembled so far?
Well, they picked a team that went 3-0 in the qualifiers, and all we did was reload with some more guys. I have full faith in them that they chose the guys that they think that they can win with, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, going off of what Donovan said, we have a lot of familiar faces and names, and then our coaching staff did a great job of reloading, grabbing some more experience, some guys that have some real good talent to add to the chemistry that we created over in Germany. So I'm really excited to getting to meet the new guys, to obviously doing my part to create a good chemistry between everyone, and then just putting our head down and working,
True that, right? I mean, we're reloading the team, obviously. I've been with it since 2019, and you know what? It keeps going better and better and better. And you get to see new excitement every year, and it's good to see, obviously, the talent we have on the roster is phenomenal. And then we can see what it also means to them, and they'll be able to also share this experience, lifelong experience as well. And, we all connect through this. So it's not like, a high and buy situation, right? We'll stay connected, lifelong friends, an experience that you really can't take back. But yeah, they did a real good job of putting the team together. I'm fortunate enough to make it. I know for myself, probably other guys too, probably nervous because you never know who's going to come, if you're going to make the roster. And right, we wouldn't even be in this situation without the other men we had in Germany as well. So you know what? Shout out to them as well. The guys who couldn't be on the team. Unfortunately, like I get it. I've been there as well. But, I know they'll be watching, they'll be supporting, and we wouldn't even be in this situation without all those men that we also had that didn't get to come on this next journey. But you know what? just excited as far as what we got going on right now. And, Drew's going to do his best job to put us in the best situation to win.
Justin, you mentioned a few names before there. A lot of people would be familiar with, like Mike Trout and Mookie Betts. When you've been looking at the rosters and the lineups, are there any particular players that you're really excited to test your skills against? And how hard do you think it's going to be to not get starstruck, or does that sort of thing not even enter the equation?
Well, first off, every single one of the teams that we're playing, including ourselves, like we're here to compete, right? So Mookie Betts, Mike Trout, obviously a lot of people look up to these guys because they play the game in a great way. But I saw a video on Twitter about in 2006 or 2009, one of the first World Baseball Classics, the Japan team, they had Ichiro. They didn't really have anyone else that was in the MLB when it came to the team that they brought for the World Baseball Classic. But Ichiro told them, he was like, guys, you guys are fanboying over these players when you're supposed to be competing against them. So, yes, obviously all the respect in the world to the teams that we're playing against, but we're Donovan Benoit, we're Alex Crosby, we're Justin Wylie, Nick Ward, Mckenzie Mills. We're competing against them, and we have to put our best foot forward and be present in the moment to do our best job and bring our natural ability out,
Spot on with that, right? We've watched these guys mainly usually during my season, I won't watch any games, but I always watch highlights. I always love to see highlights of the players, what they do, and almost like replicate it myself, like during batting practice, like if that's ground balls at third base, how Arenado makes some type of bare hand play. So it also kind of take away from their arsenal. I think it's, again, exciting experience. I'm ready to compete. Glad that we get to face all these guys. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to prove to myself personally and to just be who I say I am. I have all the confidence in the world when it comes to baseball. And for me, I want us to be the better team on the field. I want to win, but my personal goal too is I want to be the best player on the field every time I step on it. So I don't care who's my opponent, who we're going against. I'm always ready to step up for the challenge and just prove it, And good thing is, national television, everyone's going to see it. So got to prove it. And I'm ready. I've been working my butt off to be in this situation, and I'm ready to just get going on it.
Yeah, well put. I mean, speaking about being televised as well, has the enormity of this sunk in for what it's going to mean for British baseball? I mean, you probably won't see the grassroots of it over here, but the impact that it's going to have, I mean, you lot as a squad getting into this tournament, the knock-on effect is going to have over here in the UK is going to be massive. I mean, does the weight of that, again, does it just become professionalism that you just crack on with it, or are you aware of the situation over here and like how big this is for the people at home?
Okay, yeah, I mean, we know what's going on. At the end of the day, we're just going to prove to ourselves who we are, stay true to ourselves, not try to be bigger than what we are, and just play our part to help the team win. But I mean, it's super exciting, right? I grew up, my mom's British accent, everything. So it's been a big part of my life. And I'm glad that we can be on this magnitude to show the kids. I think Drew said it before in an interview, like you can get there from here,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you're at, who you are. You work hard, you keep competing, you keep putting yourself in situations where you just keep getting on in between those lines, and anything could happen, right? And for like all these young kids to see what we're doing is just going to give them that kick to like, hey, we can do it. And that's going to just grow the population of baseball. So I'm looking forward to like seeing, because, I don't have Twitter. I'm not a big social media guy, but I always go on and check if that's UK sports, just the Twitter feeds, kind of see what's going on, what's being said, just because I want it to grow. I want this to be the norm for Great Britain, like our expectation is to get here and have these kids grow and obviously get that money for them to have the tools to succeed. So that's going to be awesome for them. Like me personally, right, when I'm done playing baseball, I've talked to Drew about it. Like I want to be a part of a coaching staff. I know how, I've done it. This will be my fourth event where, you show up, do what you can, compete, go home. But me personally, I want to end up coaching not anything else besides Great Britain baseball when I'm done. When I get in my own field of career after baseball, I want to be a part of it. I want to teach. I want to help. I want to help these kids grow and give them that confidence that that they can do it, because anyone could do it. Doesn't matter where you're from.
Yeah, definitely. Drew's done a great job of sending us certain tweets and certain videos from different programs throughout Great Britain. And I know for me personally, it hasn't sunk in, but as I'm watching these videos, it's like, wow, that group from Germany has impacted so many people in so many different groups throughout the UK, especially because it was the week after the passing of the Queen. The country's in mourning, and we come together as a team, and we give the country something to cheer about, something to come together for. So heading into this World Baseball Classic is another opportunity for everyone on our team and all of the players from the past team to really show support and really grow the game. So guys know what type of player and what type of person Alex Crosby is, who Donovan Benoit is, Nick Ward, Mckenzie Mills, Justin Wylie, So I'm not taking this lightly. Pressure is a privilege, So just trying to do my best job of staying even keeled and prepared in the best way possible.
Yeah, I'm excited to see our little kids at Manchester Baseball Club and the clubs around the country just rocking up with the new heroes, words in mouth. Oh, did you see Justin? And did you see Alex's game? Like when I was watching the highlights and some of the games with my 5-year-old, like with the women's game in France, as soon as that one was over, it was like, can we go outside and play? It's like no mention of Minecraft, no mention of Lego. It was, can we go outside and play? And we had our first little game outside the other day, and it's just great. And I love that he's getting excited about it. He knows about it, and it's as long as it's a decent hour that we can watch. I'm hoping that we'll be able to watch it and get excited as a family, because we are now a baseballing family due to me doing this podcast. The family's kind of been roped into it a bit. So it's just we're all excited. The whole nation's excited. I don't think there's many people within the community that are not looking forward to this tournament.
Yeah, so to kind of piggyback of what you were just saying, for December, I went to go visit my family in Scotland, and I had to throw. So shout out to Drew, who got me to throw with a couple of guys over there.
Yeah.
And shout out to Ren, one of the great baseball players. I threw with him, and it's cool to see like the tweets and stuff saying like, "Man, we're behind you." Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But when you actually get to do it with somebody who grew up playing baseball, and they're like, "Man, this means so much to us," and he was telling us like how happy he is and how everybody's gonna be following us. Like, I think that's when it really settles in. You're like, man, like, it's not just people behind the screen just saying congratulations. Like we're actually making an impact for so many different kids over there, and I think it's just like it's surreal. I think it's just a super cool experience and opportunity.
Yeah, it's amazing. Have you got time to share the story with Justin and Alex?
So I was over kind of like what I was saying, over in Scotland. Needed to throw. Drew sent out a text to some of the different teams that were over in Glasgow and Edinburgh, and Ren got back to me, and the two brothers, the Isdell brothers, over playing at Northern Colorado. They were actually visiting their family as well, and I actually got in contact with them, so I threw with them like once or twice a week, and I got to like kind of meet some of the guys who were on like our U23 team and some of the guys who play on just some of the other teams around here, and kind of like telling their stories about Great Britain and how much they've been following us and how much like this means to them. It was just super cool to kind of hear that from guys like, oh, we're watching you. And it's like, oh, like, yeah, I'm at spring training right now on backfield 5 and 6. Nobody really knows who we are. But, to these guys, like, they know who we are, like we are their Mike Trout, their Mookie Betts, it's like, it's awesome. When you go out to the World Baseball Classic qualifier, like win or lose, it's going to be how we represent ourselves, and to show like, UK can have a baseball team, and like we can't compete at the biggest stage against some of these other powerhouses. I think it's just going to be an awesome opportunity again.
Yeah, it's gonna be mega. What's colder than Ravensburg or Scotland in December?
It was they were close. Regensburg was to go back was one of the coldest games I've ever played in, and I didn't get the luxury of standing at third base, playing every inning. It was just I have a hoodie on in the dugout or in the down in the bullpen when getting rained on. Like, man, I might have to go in and pitch, which I did twice. Man, that was freezing. But I mean, Scotland's always cold and rainy. I'm kind of used to that by now.
I want to ask Nick a question. So coming off of the qualifier, how was your preparation before going to the ABL? Because you were the MVP over there and you guys won a national you won the championship.
Yeah, so obviously we won end of September, right? We had qualified end of September, and I had a month to get ready to go. So I didn't take any time off. I just hit the ground running and kind of treated it like it was before any other season. Like obviously I was a little bit beat down and from playing a full Frontier League season and then going to play in the qualifier and flying all over the world basically. So I didn't really have a huge chance to rest or anything, but that was okay. I was playing pretty well. So kind of just hit the ground running, and I was able to kind of carry the momentum I was able to have from the Frontier League and the qualifier and keep it going down in some warm weather in Australia. So it was really cool. And obviously Australia was really cool getting to play down there. But yeah, the preparation was fine. I mean, obviously I was beat down, but it was a grind. Being on the tails of a win kind of just motivated you that much more to want to do it again.
A lot of people see how effective like the time difference is when you just go from going to the States, got there late from the Frontier playoffs. So I know that was probably difficult for you. I've been in that situation, I think back in 2019, where I went for my season straight to Germany. I got my passport super late, and it was like the next day I was playing, and trying to play when it's like 3 a.m. at your normal time. It's like you feel weird. You feel different. It's like almost you have an anxiety feeling because you're not the same time frame and things are a little off. So I know that must have been a difficult situation for you, Nick, just coming straight from that. I've been through it, and it's not easy to play like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I hopped off. I mean, we got bumped from the playoffs, right? I basically drove home the next day and hopped on a plane and I get off the plane, and obviously like I knew Mckenzie, I knew Justin, but I didn't know anybody else, especially on the coaching staff. And like obviously you're joining a new team, there's anxiety that comes with that, and but you're playing on a grander scale, right? Like I didn't really understand the gravity of it all until we really started playing. But then again, I had to remind myself it was just the same game. It was just a cooler experience that obviously I'll never forget. But yeah, like you said, like hopping off that plane, getting like mixed emotions, right? You're so excited, but I had just gotten bounced from the playoffs, and then from there it was like, all right, let's go. What's next? And it was something I'd never experienced before. But obviously, I'm super happy that I got to be able to do it, regardless of how all over the place my emotions were.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I know I was definitely tuning into your games in the playoffs, and I was hoping that you lost just so you could fly out. So, I'm sorry, it was a little bittersweet for you, but I'm glad you were able to fly out to Germany.
You're probably like you and Marcelino and TS were all like, hey, we were Wild Things fans, but we wanted you guys to lose. I'm like, that was so weird for me to hear. Like it was odd, but like I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
And we're all glad you lost, man, because we wouldn't have been able to do it without you at shortstop.
Right, it must be weird having people wanting to lose something for the greater good.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was weird to hear for sure, but obviously everything happens for a reason, and there's a greater plan for everything. And obviously experiencing that loss was tough, but obviously another door opened when one shut. So that was pretty special.
Yeah, indeed. So what's next for you all then after the World Baseball Classic? Have you not thought that far ahead? Have you already got your plans for the up and coming season sorted?
Yeah, we're just ready for the Classic. First things first.
Totally agree. Just eyes are totally set on the World Baseball Classic, and everything will take care of itself after that.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm on my way down to Florida for spring training. I'm going a couple weeks early so I can get my feet wet with a new team, and then obviously still make sure I'm ready for March. You know, like these dates have been circled on all of our calendars since late September. So the anticipation's been building since then. We're all going to be ready. We're all super excited. We can't wait to get out there.
Has it dawned on any of you yet, like how important the World Baseball Classic is, as in terms of just being a spotlight for players? Like, there's been stories of players that have like been long forgotten and had a really good World Baseball Classic and then managed to get like superb careers off the back of it. Is that sort of thing even crept into your minds, or again is it just pure professionalism and focus?
I think you try to not let it creep into your mind, because I think if the gravity of the situation can get too big and then you start thinking too far ahead, and that you always want to stay in the moment. If you're too forward thinking, you can, your anxiety level or whatever, you might not, one, enjoy the moment, but two, focus on your task at hand. So I think Drew was really good about that, especially in the qualifier, saying like, yeah, we have an opportunity to change the world here, shock the world, and impact the whole landscape of British baseball. But you know, on a personal level too, like these tournaments can shot put people's careers, and if you play well, like there's a lot of opportunities that can piggyback off of these kinds of things. But I think if you focus on that too much or let that creep into your mind too soon, then the gravity of the situation might be too big for you. So try not to let that creep into your mind as much.
Yeah, I totally agree with Nick. For Alex and I, we're in a specific situation that we're totally aware of what this could do for our careers, and I feel like that also plays a part in our focus level. You know, our focus is, I wouldn't say more so than anyone else, but it's pretty to the point of this is an opportunity of a lifetime, you know, for our families, for our individual careers, and for the Great Britain program. I'm not fully aware of like multiple people or specific people that it's shot putted their careers, but I know it has the opportunity to do so. But it's not going to if I'm not present in that moment, you know?
Yeah, they're both spot on with it, you know. Took the words out of my mouth. What really we want to focus on is, one, helping the team win, finding a way to win. But you know what? Like I always kind of say, is just have fun, because we're playing baseball. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. So just trying to stay in the moment and have fun, not think too deep in anything. You know, we know it's going to be a big event, and my thing is just stick with it, stick with the process that we've had going into it. We've all played baseball before. It's not anything new. So at the end of the day, let's just have fun with it, and everything will take care of itself. Kind of just see God work.
Absolutely. I think Justin said this a couple minutes ago. It was like, pressure's a privilege, right? But like we're going up against like all these teams. Like I hope we get a chance to like take this all in the moment, and take a step back after this is all said and done. But we're going up against all-star teams like the USA and Canada. But we also have to realize like we are an all-star team too. Like we earned the right to be here just like everybody else. And that should be like, I know for me at least, that's a freeing thing, and that's a really exciting thing that I get to be a part of, like, and be the part of the best team of Great Britain baseball. You know, it's like we are an all-star team just like the USA, just like Mexico, Colombia, Canada, whatever. Like we deserve to be there just as much. And like taking that in stride, like, and just having that pressure kind of, yes, it's a privilege, release that off of our backs, because we do deserve to be there.
Well, if it helps you to know, Daniel Cooper, superstar pitcher for GB, Mike Trout has never hit him once.
Our secret weapon.
Keep it that way.
That's right.
Yeah, told me that when I interviewed him not too long ago. So yeah, I faced Mike Trout twice and he's never hit me.
Game on the line. We know who to bring in. Trout's up, 2 outs. You know, we're going to be up by a run. We're going to bring Cooper in just to close that one out.
Going to throw that sinker down and in, hit a ground ball with Justin Wylie.
I love that you all know how this is going to play out. How is that game going to play out? March 11th, Saturday night.
Ooh.
You
Oh,
have,
we know how it's going to play out, but
you have to tune
we're
in.
not going to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Let's keep that one close to the vest for now.
Yeah,
Definitely. We'll catch up
Just-
after the tournament. You can tell me exactly how you were right and how it played out.
Just tune in March 11th. You'll see.
Oh, can't
it.
wait. Cannot wait. I've got a couple of questions here from some of the listeners. UK Reds Twitter sent this in for you. Could you tell Donovan that there's a small but enthusiastic band of Reds fans in the UK that are doubly pleased to see him represent GB? You're second in the league with 13 saves and finished the season with 16 Ks in September. Do you see your future as a Reds closer, or would you like to get back to starting?
Well, first off, it's good to know that I have some fans across the pond other than my grandparents over there. My future with the Reds is hopefully, just getting the opportunity to pitch, whether that be any relieving role or closing. I think it would be just awesome to get out there and just pitch regardless of what I do.
Fantastic. You got anything you want to say to the UK Reds fans?
Yeah, I'm excited that they're following me, and I think it's going to be like a really cool situationship that they can follow me throughout my whole career, and if they need anything, send me a DM, and we can keep that relationship going.
Excellent. Thank you very much. The Angels in the UK have asked if you could pick one player from all of baseball history to compete against, who would it be and why?
I think I would have to say Jackie Robinson.
That's a good one.
Purely based off of me wanting to see how he handled himself, who he is as a person as well as a competitor, because he was put in a situation that no one has ever been put in. He experienced things that no one has ever been put through for the first time. And so competing against him, seeing how he handles it, would honestly be the top tier of professionalism and the top tier of a competitor, So that would have to be my answer. And it would just be a complete honor to have played against Jackie.
Good answer. Good luck following that one.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Ward's going to say Chase Utley.
I was going to, but I feel like I'd have to be a pitcher. I'd probably pick Nolan Ryan.
Ooh.
Just like if I face him 100 times, he might strike me out 99 of them. But in the same breath, just to go up against probably the best pitcher ever, and just get to face him and just battle against a guy like that. Plus, I had his VHS tape when I was younger, and it was just a movie about him, and they had a song, and I was stuck in my head hours and hours. It even got stuck in my parents' head. So getting to face him would be unbelievable. Yet, yes, I want to choose Chase Utley really bad, Cross, but I think it would have to be Nolan Ryan.
Yeah, for me. So, I grew up in Northern California. Huge A's fan growing up, but by far my favorite baseball player to watch highlights. Every time they were playing, I wanted to put it on TV, was Barry Bonds. Just what he did as a baseball player hitting wise was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see someone hit that many home runs, right? I would love to just sit there, talk baseball with him, go out to dinner, just pick his brain, see what he thought. But I mean, if really I can go back in time, I would love to just watch him play again. Again, I grew up an A's fan, but my neighbor was a huge Giants fan. They always had the games on, and I forever would always just watch Barry Bonds on and love to see.
Sorry, dude, it's cut out.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now? Okay, you didn't hear anything I said. You didn't know the player?
Barry Bonds. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, Barry Bonds. Like I said, just greatest hitter of all time, in my opinion. Loved watching him play. Essentially, that's just someone I'd want to pick their brain. I wish I could just sit there and watch him hit. I mean, his hands are phenomenal. Wish he was in the Hall of Fame. I get it, but at the end of the day, I just don't think it gets better than that. I don't think anyone's going to hit more home runs than that. So I'll preach it till I'm, 6 feet under. That would be the greatest player that I've personally seen play the game of baseball.
I've got a cork here from Gav from Backflip and Nerds. It's Saturday evening, the 11th of March. GB lines up against Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, and US Dream Team. At midday the next day, you face off against Freddie Freeman's Canada. Have you thought about how you'll recover from the exhilaration of the once-in-a-lifetime US game and then be mentally prepared for the more winnable game against Canada just 14 hours later?
They're all winnable.
Why you play the game, right?
Shoot, I mean, exactly. Pressure is a privilege, right? You said that. Drew said, everyone said in this podcast. I mean, we're ready for it. It's not anything that none of us have experienced. We've all played that Saturday night game leading into the maybe like a kid's game at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. We've all done it. We know what to do for our body wise to be prepared, get sleep, proper fuel, food. I mean, we're all ready for the challenge. We know what it takes. We've been there. At the end of the day, again, it's the same game within the lines, and we'll be ready to go. And adrenaline will be pumping regardless. So any fatigue, tiredness, that won't even be there.
Yeah, I was about to say, just like we were talking about how cold it was in Germany, it was cold, but a lot of us, we knew we just have to play 3 games and our adrenaline was going, our focus was still there. It doesn't matter. It could be a back-to-back game. You know, we're there to win. We're going to have a packed stadium. We're going to be pulling for our guys. So it's just a matter of playing, you know, staying focused.
Justin, have you got any questions that you want to ask to anybody? Or
I want to ask Nick, obviously, if everyone who's listening didn't know, Nick got signed by the Philadelphia Phillies. So first off, I want to say congratulations. This is the first time we've been like face to face or screen to screen with that. I want to just ask you how that experience was for you, your family, especially because it was not when you were with them, you were away during your Australian season.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You know, you and I got to play against each other the last couple of years. Got to know you pretty well. It's pretty pretty special coming from you. So thank you very much. But yeah, like obviously being on the complete opposite side of the world, it was like 7 a.m. when I got the news that I was going to be signed by the Phillies. So I woke up to that text from my agent and saying, "Hey, I got a question for you." And he says, "Hey, the Phillies want to buy your contract." And I was like, So what's the question? And obviously, like when you're playing independent baseball, your goal is, your dream is to get signed by another organization, whether you've had that opportunity before or not. It's always like in the back of your mind, like, hey, this is possible. But I think when I was able to call my dad, when I called my parents, I think my mom and dad were more excited than I ever could have imagined I would be. My mom started crying, and funny enough, my dad was already wearing a Phillies sweatshirt when I called him. So it was so ironic and funny. It was just, obviously we grew up like diehard Phillies fans. Dad taught me the game by going to Phillies games at Veterans Stadium and Citizens Bank Park. So like I would have taken anybody, but to be a Philly now is like obviously a lifelong dream come true. And obviously I'm not in the big leagues. So I'll be in the minor leagues somewhere, wherever they decide to put me. But just to have a Phillies jersey with my name on the back, regardless of what number they assign me, I can't say how much of a dream it is that's come true. So it's been a whirlwind of 2 months almost that it's been since I got that call, but it's been really special, and it hasn't really sunk in yet, and I don't think it will until I put the red pinstripe pants on when I go out there tomorrow morning for my first workout. But yeah, it's unbelievably special.
There's also another
Awesome.
one of GB's players, Gabriel Rincones. He's out there. He's drafted by the Phillies last season too. He raised in Scotland. Oh, Donovan's no longer with us, but yeah, he's a part of Scottish baseball.
Yeah, Drew actually connected us probably a week after I signed, so that was really cool to get to talk to him. And obviously he did what, last year I believe, and then he spent the entire year rehabbing after surgery.
All right. Well, Nick, I know your response right there was probably amazing, but again, you cut out. So we got the Phillies story, with your family and the excitement. So that's awesome. The second half, not so much. But I am I'm gonna ask Cross a question because Alex, you've played in so many tournaments with GB baseball. Do you feel like you hold a certain weight of leadership when it comes to this upcoming tournament, especially as one of the older guys on the team that's been a mainstay for GB baseball?
I've been around, right? Anyone who's been around any organization, it's almost grandfathered in as far as like you got to take that leadership role. You got to want it. You want to help everyone kind of get that introduction into the program. So you, as a player, understand what's going on, what we expect, not just coming from the coaches. And I know we've all been around baseball long enough that you lean on those type of guys because they've been in that experience. We know you kind of want to shorten the curve when it comes to expectations, what you should do, things that are going to help you out, just so you're not going around and trying to figure stuff out yourself, right? So I mean, I look forward to that type of role. My first time in doing it, I think I barely said a couple words the first tournament in 2019 because I just flew out, just like how Nick and you did, as far as just showing up and playing. But that talent wasn't nearly the talent from 2019 to right now in 2023, right? My thing is you know what? I know everyone, we're all going to come ready to play. We're all good enough to be on this big stage. And I think realistically, right, we all want it. We all want to do best for the country. And we want to definitely put a name out for Great Britain. And as far as leadership wise, right, I mean, I'll say what I can, but we all as professional athletes, we get it, and we're ready to go.
So it's tradition on the show for the guests to have the last say. So the floor is all yours. Any shout outs you want to give? Any final words or parting advice you want to bestow upon us? The spotlight is on you. So
yeah. First off, I want to say thank you to you for allowing us to be on the podcast, for what you're doing for GB baseball, growing the media presence, letting them know who we are as people, not just as players. So thank you for that. And then to whoever's listening right now, just know that GB baseball is in good hands. We're really excited to represent Great Britain for the World Baseball Classic. I know every single one of us has been putting in the work this offseason to get ourselves healthy, to continue to work and grow as players, and to put our best foot forward to continue to grow the game for Great Britain baseball. So thank you again. We're all confident in our abilities to compete against whoever it is that's across the lines from us. So everyone at GB baseball is in good hands.
I'd like to say thank you to you, Matt. This is a privilege to be on your show, and a big thank you to you. Yeah, we do the work on the field, but without guys like you spreading our names out there, the British baseball name out there, we wouldn't get quite the coverage that we've gotten over the past few months. So a big thank you to you, and to all the younger kids listening. Keep all it is, just keep working hard and keep loving the game, and you guys can be right where we are in a matter of years. So we're trying to leave it better than we found it, just so everyone else can share in this experience as well.
So yeah, we all thank you, Matt, for having us on. We all really appreciate it. It's been a great interview. I've had a good time talking with you guys, catching up. It's always a privilege anytime we could step on and just speak about Great Britain alone, as far as this game has taken us pretty far, and to even be in the situation to get on these podcasts, get on the field, speak knowledgeably about Great Britain baseball is a complete honor. I'm blessed myself. Just, like I said before, is I grew up in a household that was British, and this has meant everything to me, the experience. And definitely I want to thank, all the coaches, Drew, for believing me and picking me and having the ability to let me go out there and showcase my talent. And then as far as like the generation, the youth, teenage, high school, college, anybody with that connection, right? It's good for all this to be happening because now these connections keep spreading, and you can find more players and more people in our situation to get this opportunity to, again, keep growing, right? Like last year, I played with Kent Blackstone and Raul Shaw, and like, what a small world, right? Kind of just asked, they kind of see, like, I have a British tattoo, and the first thing was, I think, even 2019, I played with this kid, Will Savage, and he saw my tattoo and he brought it up. And then it's weird enough that I played my last 3 years with someone else who has that connection. And like I said, that's the sense that it's growing, it's being talked about. And as a youth, right, they have the opportunity to see this and not give up on their dreams, knowing that they can get there, right? Like for me personally, I was about done with baseball and told no. Also, 2020, right, I was left off the qualifier roster, which was a very bumming experience for me. I was completely shut off. I was, heartbroken from it. And I tell people, right, is just don't give up. You're going to hear no's, you'll hear yeses, but you'll keep hearing more no's and yeses. But if you keep putting yourself out there, that opportunity will be there. You just got to keep working at it. And for the kids, right, you might not hear the news you want to hear, but that doesn't mean you give up. You got to keep going, keep pushing, because anything could happen, right? I mean, all three of us, Justin, Nick, we played independent baseball, right? Nick, he's just got signed, which is a complete blessing and complete honor. But for guys like in our situation, right, not many of us are even being able to be in this big tournament. Everyone's AAA, AA, big league, a lot of big league guys. Like, you think like, how are we here, right? And that's just from consistent effort, putting in the work, and just showing up and not hearing any outside news. So again, all of you just stick with it, right? Everyone has their own journey, and just follow whatever path it is and just believe in yourself.
Amazing. What a great way to end the episode. Gents, thank you so much for your time. And of course to Donovan and Mckenzie that had to leave partway through, but we're all behind you. Really can't wait for the tournament. Sorry I won't be there personally. I'm getting married in April, so I've got to divert funds towards that thing. But the mention of a stag do in Arizona was on the cards. I tried to blag my soon-to-be brother-in-law, because he works in Arizona, every now and then to sort of smuggle me across, but lo and behold, it's not meant to be. But there is a lot of GB supporters from this side of the pond going to be out there representing, and I know you'll do them all proud, and just can't wait to see you all in action.
Thank you, Matt, and congratulations to you.
Thank you, Matt.
Cheers.
Yep.
Right. Oh, and Justin,
again,
thank you so much for your Christmas message as well. It was brilliant. It's the only one that I got out of all the messages that I sent, but it was top. Cheers, dude. Right, well, enjoy the rest of your days. Nick, safe travels. Alex and Justin, thank you again very much for your time, and I'll see you all soon. Take it easy.
Of course. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.